Pirate God Level Cartoonist, Chapter 401 to 420. Chapter 401 Land and Sea Competition. After Roha knew about this, he rushed back and wanted to ask what happened to Sasha. Could it be that he was really deceiving himself? The man in black is obviously different from what he described, so what is the green pheasant doing here? Why did he dress up as a man in black with a big scar on his face? Roha really felt that the more he thought about this, the more confused he became, and his mind was about to explode, but Roha thought that he must figure out what was going on. He could not let his brother and his former apprentice misunderstand him. Because Roha has always regarded him as his brother, yes, because Roha has always been very kind to people, has always been sincere, and has never done anything to hurt others. Because in his eyes, everything was settled peacefully, but that person actually said that he had done a lot of evil in the past, killed countless people, and killed without blinking an eye. Explained that he may have been a demon before, but why did he seem to come to this machine, and why it was impossible to take a memory by himself? Roha thought, but who was my memory washed away? Then Roha survived, what is this for? But I don't know, is it to redeem his previous sins? Roha thought to himself, is he really like what I said before? Am I really a murderous monster before? No, I won't. I am trying so hard to help others now, how can I do that? But what he said was so sworn and so sincere. And the scars on her face and the scars on his body know that she is really like that. Do you do evil? The more Roha thought about it, the more sad he became. He suddenly started to feel pain. He didn't know what to do. Could it be Sasha? Let her help me check my previous memory. But if he finds out, will he collapse? Is the memory of the past really gone? In fact, Roha knew in his heart what he should have done before, but he didn't want to admit it. He still wanted to be the brave man who could help others defeat monsters. So Roha walked through the lush forest to this desert full of thorns. He suddenly saw a figure, but it slowly disappeared. He has been doing this kind of thing recently, always seeing different people and always encountering very strange things, and these very strange things, but he really doesn't know which oneself is, and he doesn't even know what happened in the past. He really wants to figure out what he was like before. He hopes to be able to change back to the old self, at least that way, he is real, and others will not think that he is hiding himself, he is mixing the real with the fake. He doesn't want others to think that he is a liar, he is really just helping others sincerely, dealing with other people who want these worlds, and trying his best to get along peacefully and happily. Because in this world, only her world is the master of all worlds, so her world was sent here, and he came to create peace for other worlds. Because this world is implicated in several worlds, he cannot let everything be destroyed because of this one world, so Roha has been trying his best to protect everyone. Sasha saw that she had come back in a hurry. Sometimes she hurried to ask about the situation and went downstairs. Why did you come back so quickly? How did you find his hiding place? Did you get her? Did you beat him? Did you find out the positions of those who were caught by him? What's wrong with you? You seem to be uneasy. You won't get hurt, will you? Let me see, where is the injury? When Roha heard that Sasha cared about him so much, he didn't dare to ask him again, because I thought that Sasha was so kind, but she couldn't do anything harmful, so he let go of his hand. Roha said to Sasha, I didn't see anything, I just saw a piece of forest that is as smart as you. I didn't notice anything else, because he was so smart. I didn't test at all. Couldn't find it. In fact, Roha has been hiding the fact that he met Aokiji. He was afraid that Sasha would know that she would misunderstand him and Ching, and he was actually here to harm them, so Roha wanted to temporarily, so he didn't tell Salsa the truth. But in this underwater world, the weak will always prey on the weak, and they will always kill people without blinking an eye. In this underwater world, it is different from the land world. The seabed is actually closely connected to the land. If there is a tsunami on the seabed, the land will surely suffer. So Roha has been maintaining the relationship between the land and the seabed, so that they will not continue to deteriorate. She once thought that there would be people from the land who betrayed and plunged into the seabed. And he betrayed the seabed again. This is Roha, which he never thought of. He never thought that the relationship between the seabed and the land had deteriorated to such a degree. But the bottom of the sea holds them, the fate of natural disasters and man-made disasters, so he can't give up easily, so he can only grit his teeth and come forward to help them. Because in this turbid world, they all yearn for a peaceful world before. In the peaceful world before, there were flowers and grass, and everyone lived in peace just like the world Roha used to live in. When Roha was very young, he still remembered that he was very happy with a group of children. He never thought about the things that adults have been worried about all the time. He often saw that his grandmother was always sad. But he has always tried his best to be happy with his grandma, but she was still young at the time and didn't know what her grandma was sad about. He finally knows now that it is not easy to maintain world peace, and it is necessary to properly handle the relationship between everyone, every world and every region. So he really thanked his grandma for giving him those principles, giving him the principles of being a man, and the way he did things since he was a child. It was all taught by his grandma, because his parents were not by his side since he was a child, and her grandma was the closest person to her, but in an accident that year, he lost her dearest grandma. So while he was traveling the world and helping others, he still had one unfulfilled wish, which was to find the real murderer who hurt his grandma, and Roha wanted to avenge his grandma. He must find that person, take it out and avenge her grandma in person, because he actually killed her dearest grandma, and almost destroyed its most beautiful and most yearning world. Chapter 402 Re-entering the Dream. That person is really vicious and evil, so Roha has been traveling around the world for so many years, helping people in various worlds to defeat the monsters they desperately need. At the same time, it was also in order to find out the injuries of the year, his grandma, that monster, with such a ferocious method, but Roha has never met that person until now. He didn't know what that person looked like, he only knew one of his backs. Her back is so majestic. It was several heads taller than Roha, but he never showed his face. Because he doesn't seem to want others to find out what he looks like, but why did he spit out the whole world if he only killed grandma at that time? If I really don't understand what these people are thinking, it's hard to kill those innocent people because of their own abilities. Roha felt really chilled. But when he thought of so many people helping him, he immediately became full of confidence, because in this world, or in other worlds, there are still many people who need Roha's help, so he can't give up now, let alone be discouraged. He was always encouraging himself. Tell yourself that you are very strong, that you must follow the teachings of your grandmother, that you must protect the people you love, protect the rest of the world, and try to make the world peaceful. Only in this way can we be worthy of the dead grandmother, the missing parents, and everyone who worked hard for world peace, including his own father and mother, who are all people who work hard for world peace, although Roha, now not know where they are. Because they have been washing their bodies to protect the world, they don't even know whether his parents are dead or alive, but Roha is not sad. Because he knew that his parents were actually big heroes, and he wanted to be that big hero himself. But what Aokiji said today made him doubt himself. Aokiji's words made Roha feel the reason why he was so sinful in the past. Roha really felt tired physically and mentally. Now he just wants to lie down, and then his head is quiet, because he only needs to think about the past matter. The head will be extremely painful, as if there are thousands of ants flying in your head. Could it be that he has cast some kind of curse for others? Impossible, the people close to him have almost disappeared, so who is that? Roha felt really sad, and was very curious that he had concerns, worries, and excitement in his heart. He didn't expect Qingzi to become like that, and the best teacher-disciple relationship he once had was about to break down. Sasha looked at Roha lying on the bed. With a worried look on his face, he asked, "Have you eaten? Are you hungry? Are you troubled? If it's really not possible, then let's wait a little longer, wait a minute, and let him come out in person." I wanted to hear Sasha comforting myself like this, and I was really moved, So I told him it was okay. I just don't understand something. You let me calm down for a while, and I will repair my mood by myself. Don't forget that I am boasting about the sea, and I want to help you rescue those people. Now you just need to help me take care of this area and your underwater world. The whole layout can be drawn for me. I want to understand geographical details so I can lead her out. And I hope you don't disturb me recently. My head is really hurting. I want to wake up myself, Roha said worriedly. Okay, Roha, take a break. Just leave that matter to me. Be sure to preserve your physical strength and don't get hurt. Is our whole world still waiting for you to save us? Roha snorted and closed his eyes and fell asleep. He fell asleep, but suddenly it seemed as if he had entered someplace there. Feel cold. But the left side of the body felt extremely cold and extremely cold. His body is as incompatible as fire and ice, the left side. It's like a cold storm and snow. Washing oneself makes one feel extremely cold, and it's about to freeze to death. The right side felt extremely hot, like fire burning his body, but Roha couldn't wake up when he wanted to wake up. In fact, Sasha saw Roha was sweating, but it was freezing cold. Sasha didn't know what to do. He quickly covered him and put a towel on his forehead. Sasha has never encountered such a situation. No matter how Sasha shoots Roha, Roha just can't wake up. Just won't wake up. At this time, Luoya's psychology also noticed that something was wrong, and he wanted to wake up desperately, but he still couldn't wake up. Suddenly Roha shuddered, as if he was caring for something. Roha thought about it, and then he came to the dreamland. Who has been creating my dreamland? Who has been tempting me and entering my original dreamland? Dream. It indicates that Roha shouted loudly, who you are. If you have the ability, come out. If you have the ability, we will fight alone. You don't do things sneakily behind your back. So there was an echo in the sky, and he said coldly, Hello Roha, welcome to your original dreamland. You don't have to accuse me. I am here to help you get a new life, and to help you, like me, get the supreme right. It is your current ability, although it is already strong enough. But it is far from enough. You are still 108,000 miles away from the real master of this world. So if you want to become the real master of this world, you must show the courage you used to have, the courage of the big brother to kill the devil without blinking an eye. The man said to Roha in a very threatening tone. Roha, at this moment, has been out of the body. His body is lying on Sasha's bed at this time, and the soul car came to the dream that someone set for him. Who are you? Why do you always control who my dreams are? If you have the ability 5.3 to come out, don't be sneaky, it makes me look down on you too much. The man said coldly. Roha hasn't reached the time when you look down on me. I said it. I'm just helping you get a new life. Don't you want to be the world's strong? You don't want to admit that the world is the only one the master of it. I have created so much for you, Meng Qing, but why don't you know how to repent at all? You were so arrogant and domineering before. You do not know. You actually want to eat in your heart. Everything you help now will become the cornerstone for you to become the master of the world in the future. Your inner thoughts are actually more evil than mine. You risk your conscience. Helping others is just to win the world's #1 throne. I'm just a step ahead for you. Chapter 403 Ice and Fire. Roha shouted to him loudly. I'm not such a person. I help them purely because I'm worried about them. I'm afraid for them. I just want to make the world peaceful. I want the world to be at peace, and I just want to give them a piece of pure land. There is nothing like what you think, the real thoughts in my heart, only I know that none of you can guess. Quote. The man was laughing with a devilish laugh before and said, ha ha ha. This is the biggest joke I've ever heard in the world. Roha, who used to be famous in the past, is a man who kills without blinking an eye, right now. Now I can speak the words of people who have returned them a peaceful and pure land. I didn't expect to see you for a few years, but it really made me look at you with admiration. But it's useless, the waves in your heart are starting to get angry and the little devil in your heart has begun to move around to devour the little angel in your heart. So the only way for you now is to become the world that the Master of the world gave us, a world that truly lives and makes our world the only world among these 609 kingdoms. What are you talking about? You brought me here and created a dream, what are you trying to tell me? You are fine, although you don't know me now, but one day you will know me and you will thank me. You will thank the one who was there to help you. But as a red-faced person, I help you not for yourself. I am for our world. I want to do one last thing for our weak world. I want our weak world to become the strongest world. Stronger than any country, so the burden is on you. Everything you do now is only for you to be the master of the world in the future. It's just a show, you believe me, you will be able to do well. Because you have that ability and you also have that ambition. Then can you tell me what the memory in my heart is? I have been really suffering in my heart recently, and every time I dream about things that are related to the depths of my heart. I was so frightened that I broke into a cold sweat, but I couldn't remember anything the next day. That's right, this is just the little devil in your heart that is just about to move. He wants to evoke your memories, but that little angel is struggling with me, and he has been helping you to suppress it. That model, once your memory opens, you become the original Roja. Was the original Roja really as brutal as you said? Roja lowered his head and thought. Now I am afraid that there are still some things that you have not completed. You can rest assured that I will slowly help you find back the memory in your heart, but we can make a deal. You have to help me. How much will the exclusive right of our world? Why should I help you? I, Roja, always do things alone. Although I don't know what I have done before, as long as I find out, I will try my best to make up for it. The original mistake, I will not be at the mercy of any of you. I am Roja, that is, I am Roja, the ability in my heart is clear to myself, I do not need your help. I now feel that the purpose of my birth is to help the people of the world, to help the peace of every world. Love you, I will not be provoked by you again. After finishing speaking, Ruyabian took one out of the deep and went to Fuzhou, south to Fuzhou. It was given to him by Sasha, which could be useful to this seabed. The surrounding area was like an underwater source, and a lot of seawater was swimming out of it. Immediately rushed down, the source of that person's voice, directly that person, called out, and said, how did you have this spell? Could it be that you have already contacted their people? As soon as Luya knew that the talisman could only hurt him, she took out her thunderbolt sword. The sword of intent, the voice of the suitcase, the most important source of depth. There are a lot of different energy attached to the thunderbolt Excalibur. And those supernatural energy will be sprinkled with golden powder. The golden powder is the name of the year. The god uses her most precious, the golden lotus, which has been raised for tens of thousands of years and is ground into powder. Forged sword. Thinking that she also got this sword unintentionally back then, so since then, his energy has risen several levels because of this sword. Therefore, he generally treats many monsters without being worth mentioning, because his ability to deal with those monsters is really overkill. Before that, Ginseng planted a piece of ginseng that he had left, and plunged deep into his belly. The man cried out in pain and said, I didn't expect your ability to increase so much over the years. In his hand he was holding a golden lotus made by the master. How exactly did you do it? Impossible, how could you use the weapons of other worlds without our sincere help? How can you possibly manipulate the energy of other worlds? Do you really blame me for underestimating the enemy? Roja tells you, I will come again. Your dream, I will keep it for you for the time being. I hope you can wake up by yourself. The world number one who has helped us in this world also hopes that you will kill me at all costs who love us in this world. This is my last piece of advice to you. Although I am ruthless, I do everything for our two worlds, so for our world, even if I kill everyone, I will not hesitate. Don't say no to the gasping and injured person, you won't succeed. 347 I was able to hurt you in your dream, I must be capable. And I will not do it for my own sake. It is even more impossible to abandon other worlds. Let the world stop loving you from now on, because my original intention is to make the world peaceful, so you don't need to confuse me anymore. My Roha's sincerity and original intention cannot be shaken by anyone. I can't even see your real body. You must not be a human heart. You must be a soul, and you must be created. You are so excited about doing things. It shows that you must be very scheming, so I advise you not to act rashly. Take charge of me, Roha. No matter who you are, I will never let you go. After you destroy world peace, I will never let you go. Roha, I will regret it. The voice of the person who I told you will regret is getting weaker and weaker. As if his ability was about to run out, his soul had already lost his self-control. The dream slowly opened a hole, and Roha saw a light and rushed in. I found that I had rushed out of a shock. We jumped up from Sasha's bed and went to the sand to see that Luya had woken up and was sweating profusely. Sasha was very worried when she saw that Roha seemed to have lost his mind, and his expression was indifferent. So he asked worriedly. Chapter 404 Plan to Save Lives. Roha, are you all right? What the hell happened to you just now? Your body is half cold and half hot. What's going on? Did someone tick off your soul into her dream? Roha asked in surprise. How do you know the reason I entered? A dream, but one related to me. In my own dream, everything in the dream is familiar to me, but I can't remember it, and there is a very strange person in it, since it said that it can help me find my original self. Then you should meet that man, the god of dreams. We have never seen his appearance, but he is very ambitious. I don't want to make her world become extremely powerful. I also accidentally broke into her dream last time when I was escaping. But how did he make you? Could it be that you and him are from the same world? In that dream, I first felt it with the quiet use, and it came from his energy. The energy behind his energy is really similar. They all belong to the fire faction, but his energy has a little dark power shrouded in a little tacit understanding. It seems that he is someone who has practiced the forbidden fruit. I also didn't know who he was, so I entangled with him, and I came back. He said something in his heart that I didn't understand, and I didn't know what to do with myself. So I got into a fight with him, but he didn't show his real body. He used his English soul to turn into a human form to pressure me, so I just raised its benefit soul. Roha, you can actually hurt one of his souls. You are amazing. In our world, no matter how powerful the Bull King is, he can't hurt a soul of the god of dreams. It seems that you are really the god of our world. Sasha's eyes stared straight at Roha, which made Roha very embarrassed. Sometimes I have to turn my head around quickly. Sasha, you don't have to praise me like that. I also use the spell you gave me. I can beat him together. But that person often doesn't do it, because after all, he only has one of his souls, and everyone has chi and soul, so it still has 6 points. This person is definitely not simple, but he did not hurt me. I have time. Get back to him well. But the most important thing right now is not that he or I am the one who came out and was kidnapped. Only in this way can we fight against him without any hesitation. Otherwise, he holds so many hostages in his hands, and he is very anxious to question us with the hostages, so he must be like this, so we must not. Let us find a way to be those hostages, in the end fight to the death with him. The top priority for us now is to rescue the hostages who were kidnapped by him, but now we don't even know where people are hiding, so what should we do? It's alright, nonsense, don't worry. When I was dressing up the black cat in the morning, there used to be a locator job, and we just had to find one thing about the information with all of them, and I might open that locator missing. Use my other energy to help you find the general location of those people. But there will be some omissions. Therefore, we must find the smell of the most familiar person as much as possible, or find the most familiar person, a thing he wears. This will allow you to find their exact location with certainty. The girl Sasha suddenly thought of something and said to Roha, "We have a kind of magician here that can let her find the specific location of that person through a familiar present. But this kind of thing has not been thought for a long time. You would actually use this. It looks like you really can do anything. I can only try this kind of factory to see if it can be successful. I don't know if you quickly take out your thing, and try to keep its original taste on it. Never rinse it with water. Then there will be magic that will cover all his businesses. Go to another place, cover his energy, and then put it in the location, and then find his exact location. But today's direction has changed a bit. I don't know if I can find it exactly, but we must try it. Really, whether we can succeed or not, we always have to try. But Roha, I believe you will succeed. You are so powerful, it should be no problem to find someone. If you compliment me like that again, I will probably be proud. There is no problem with my dragon-crushing ability, but this kind of technical work still needs others to help him. This was given to me by a mysterious man. But why did I care? I didn't know it would be so useful, but I didn't expect it to come in handy. Okay, then I'll go take out his clothes quickly, and then use the perfume to expel him, so that he won't drain, and then it will be air-dried before handing it to you. And then which thing are you using, to search for their specific location? Well, okay, then I'll go and hurry up now, my location search function. But I must first collect my negative energy with my supernatural energy, so that I will not go into trouble when using this energy, so as to ensure safety and to ensure that their specific location can be found. After Sasha finished speaking, she hurried to the back room and tossed around. He didn't know whether the clothes were here or not, but he hoped it was. This is their only hope. Log in at any time and carefully lift up the energy from the body. It finds a quiet place and prepares to collect all the energy in August, so that he can control himself and stop those negative energies from erupting and hurting the people around him. Before, I had to hold my dantian with both hands cautiously, and slowly push up the energy in his chest. It was his energy that did not come out of his mouth. In this way, when he can start positioning, he can use his own positive energy and two-dimensional energy, and no longer need to use negative energy. This allows him to ensure that the positioning is foolproof, but also to ensure the safety of the surroundings and the growth of the surrounding plants. If he replaces the positioning ability with abnormal energy, he will wither all the surrounding creatures. In this way, wouldn't the entire Korean drama world become more polluted? You hurriedly look for clothes, and try not to make mistakes in every link. He carefully manages this energy and slowly releases his positive energy and red head out of the body. Only in this way can he succeed. Take me to help them. I mean, it took a long time to force the supernatural energy out of my body. I don't know if I can do this. It is possible to make them all come back safely, but Roha has never given up. In his eyes, as long as there is a little hope in everything, he must persevere to the end and fight to the death, even if the hope is very small. Chapter 405 Brother Duel. After a long day, Roha was ready to think that all the clothes in his body could be closed. He can fully use his positive energy now, and the 3 kills at this time also found those clothes from the corner and began to air dry them. Start. When I started to implement the plan, I immediately took out a lamp, the waning lamp, but there was no or only a little light, but as long as it was on the story of the meal, it would disappear in an instant. Roha's soda ash clothes are careful, rewarding a foot. The clothes that went on top of that thing slowly turned into ashes and burned out. It fell instantly, closed his eyes, carefully felt the place where the dust was flying, and also searched for the location. How did it find the specific place of their hostage? So Roha carefully closed his eyes and kept drawing another blueprint in his head. Roha thought to himself, it is up to you whether you can find it or not, and you must not lose the chain. I want to use it suddenly. In addition to magic, he immediately began to search for the positioning function. He closed his eyes very clearly, and then turned on the positioning and search function. He didn't know if he could find it accurately, but his name was Feng Lin because it released a huge amount of energy. There was a yellow light in the sky, and seeing the light straight ahead, he and Sasha went out at the same time, and walked towards the direction of the yellow light with support. Roha and Sasha walked side by side. Where did the red light they searched for as they walked? Maybe the location where he pointed to the red light was the location of the hostage. But they still have one thing that has not been resolved, and that is, wouldn't it be more difficult to do if everyone knew that someone would take control in front of them? Therefore, they must not let others discover your yellow light. It is also under the guidance of Sasha, and I can only find it with an invisible magic. When he woke up and knew that only he and Sasha could see the invisible magic, they were actually walking forward and suddenly found that the red light disappeared, but they looked around, and there was no place where they could take hostages. As they wandered around, they suddenly thought that Bona must be a mirage. Whether it was a happy youth or an old one, they hid between their families. So what you can see is what you can't see. Sasha also asked Roja with a bewildered look, "What are you talking about? I don't understand a word of it." "You remember when we first came in and you weren't there." "I remember when I first came in, when I found a very strange mirage." However, the draft selection turned out to be in the opposite direction of his, but that kind of mirage can be revealed, so I feel that the place where they hide the hostages must not be simple, and they are actually a form of mirage. It's just that the form of this mirage is invisible. She can be invisible to others, but he is actually right next to us, but she is invisible by a mirage. So we have to find another mirage, that is her original body, its prototype. We can determine their specific location based on the direction of his shot. We can use the processing, the real stealth function, and the phase wash function combined, so that they can force their house out, and you can see the real house entity. After listening to Roja's words, Sasha said to him with a face full of surprise, "Playing Roja, how can you even understand this? Do you still understand physics? How to judge the direction of refraction? We don't have a location, what should we do?" I suddenly said, "Don't worry, I have a way." At this time, the Luo family took out a needle-like thing and collected it, and Zhang Wangguang appeared, indicating that he had read a bunch of incomprehensible words. Seeing that the yellow light suddenly turned into a cylinder, it was the cylinder that said something to him. The person directly said that he listened to her obediently and rushed in the direction she pointed. So they followed the direction of the column and found the real original house. He exclaimed in admiration and said that this person must have time to put up with her because she is so smart. She actually knows how to use this kind of sunlight to refract. He combined the original body and the invisible body of the house with each other. In fact, the original body is the invisible body, just a backup. As long as we find the original body, we can use the light refraction direction to be good, and the angle of the wind direction. Can you tell where the real mirage invisible body is? In this way, we can correctly find their orientation, and we can execute the plan to save them. Sasabella's words were deeply moved. He didn't expect that since Roja was such a knowledgeable and powerful person, he didn't expect that he was really her lucky star. Roja had seen the corpse of the house well before. The house was only based on the sun, and she just said that it released a rainbow light and the sunlight formed an arc. The rainbow light may have reached their place, but the rainbow light was not expected. It turned out to be slowly built into the shape of a house, and the house was bigger than the real thing. So Roja slowly pulled Sasha and returned to their original position. Besides, Salsa, you see it is a house made of rainbow light, invisible, but the hidden light illuminates all his mirage bread. In this way, we can see that in fact, this house has always been beside us, but that person knows how to use refraction, so we can't see it, we can't find it, we can't find it, we can't touch it, and sometimes we can only hear their voices. But he didn't know where they were. In fact, he just used this mirage to make them invisible. Could it be that they are really in this former house? So let's hurry up and save them now. Roja quickly pulled Sasha and said, "Chinmay, I think things must not be so simple. Since he knows how to use this principle, how can he let us go in person? There will definitely be an organ outside this house. Don't worry, I'll try it out and get it straight." I picked up a handful of sand from the ground and threw it at the house with some force. What happened to the question after going down the mountain? Didn't we find it right? Why can't the new ones go in and rescue them? What I want to tell her quietly is that they must have a plot. Although there are no simple organs outside this house, there must be very complicated organs inside. We must not act recklessly. Let me go in and take a look first. If there is any danger, I can protect you. Chapter 406 Mirage. Sasha was very moved to watch Luo Yaling say these words to Luo Yasha, and said that she should protect herself well. He was really touched, because no one treated him with such love as he did. You are stupid, and you said it to her gently. Thank you. I'm sorry, I still caused you trouble. If it wasn't for me, I wouldn't be your fuel bottle. You will definitely leave very elegantly. Definitely it will be very cool to defeat it, all because of me. I'm going to pat his head. I said don't worry, don't blame you for everything that person said and did. Don't worry, I will definitely help you get revenge, and I will help you save them all, to make your world more peaceful and peaceful than ever. Well, don't say so many sensational words. Let's go there, and quickly find a way to treat them. After the incident, when they all come out, you can treat me to a meal and treat me well. Don't talk now, it's so early. Our top priority now is to quickly find a way to save them and open the underground passage. We have to implement specific methods so that we can really find them and reach them, otherwise we will waste the trip. Now call my positive energy, and the abnormal energy has not recovered, so we have to find that person quickly. Quickly defeat them and rescue the hostages. Roha quickly found a way to use his own symbol to give it to that Sasha because this can temporarily protect it and immigrate it. So he rushed into the room, he rushed in first, and then Sasha followed. But when I rushed in, the room was empty and there was nothing. We're about to tell the downstairs, could it be that we've come to the wrong place? Didn't we get it right, or did he move them? He didn't know either, but Roha suddenly discovered a problem. There were no people in this room, but it was completely different from the round body. Maybe he was sure that those people were still here, but we had some omissions. Let me take a look again, and I'll be sure to find out. The structure inside the house that I wanted to observe carefully, he found that this house was not much different from that house except that it was a little bigger. The only difference is that there is a painting hanging in this OK house with a withered flower on it, but it desperately wonders why there is nothing, except for one painting that is really realistic. Tweed. If you think about it, it's definitely not easy to say, this clothes and there must be a way to rescue the hostages or a hidden location. You or Roha carefully taking out a yellow bead and throwing the makeup, but the bead turned out to be unexpected. I was swallowed up by that painting, so Glory thought, it turned out that it was all an illusion. I finally understood what was going on in that dream. It was actually the same principle as this one. Sasha saw that Roha had understood, and the truth kept applauding and applauding, saying, wow, you are amazing, then let's go in quickly. Roha said, okay, but be careful, let me go in first. So, Lu Yaxin went in, and Sasha followed closely. They passed through the costumes one by one and reached a new location, which was a little gloomy. There are still many dragons and old dragons' cages on it, and there are actually many creeping tigers on it, but those climbing activities, one by one, the trees are growing lushly. As soon as Sasha came to such a place, she felt tightness in her chest. She said to Roha that this place made me feel so dull. My chest was so tight all of a sudden, and then I felt very uncomfortable, and I felt like crying. Roha asked, Sasha, what's wrong with you? Could it be that you have resistance to these? Oh, given him, there is something in the settings that made you all protest against him. Then why didn't you respond? Is it because you are not from our village? Why do I feel so heavy, and my legs are weak and my whole body is weak? What's wrong with me? Why don't you go first, leave me alone, and find a place to rest, or you mustn't be found by them. Don't let me hold you back. I think his teammates must have gone to school because of his teammates, so he has no effective care for you, so you must seize this opportunity. Call them all out for me and leave me alone. If you drag me away, you will definitely drag yourself down. I don't want to be a dragger. As long as I save them, I will die even if I die. Don't talk nonsense, I won't leave you, go away, I'll take you away. We just need to get through this period, in the country, if he may change, he won't be there now, next week. Believe me, I'm walking with you on my back, and I'm carrying it on my back all of a sudden. Then eat and walk. Sasha burst into tears. Don't talk about Roha, you are so kind, I really don't know how to thank you. If you really want to thank me, hold on for me, and I'm still waiting for you to eat. Don't forget, you still have a meal or a drink for me. Do not worry, Roha, I will definitely persevere. For you, for the peace of our entire world, for the peace of our seas and on land, and for my grandma, I will hold on and I will not be succumbed to by him. Well, let's move on, trust me, I will definitely protect you. They continued to walk forward. He found another door and asked you to ask the rust on you. It seems that it has not been used for a long time, but the lock is indeed a brand new lock, and the lock is not easy to unlock. A lock that requires energy to open. You are a fallen leaf, you can slowly put it down and try to see the lock yourself. The stored energy is very strange. How could this energy be fire energy? You are Roha and you can open it as soon as you open it. Knowing that energy is so similar to yourself, is it really light oil? Don't read it. Could it be that the man in black is really Chingzi? What the hell did he arrest these people for? He knew from a young age that he would treat diseases by himself, not the kind of person who would hurt others for the sake of a treasure, but why is he doing this now? I also wanted to know everything he wanted to know behind the door. If it is really Aokiji, Roha must ask him what he is for. Why did he suddenly become like that, and what secrets are hidden in this house? Chapter 407 Aokiji appears. Roha and Sansa entered the house. There were several iron doors in the house. Inside the iron doors, there were many old long and those cages were closed. It was the hostages that were scary. All of them fell asleep, no one woke up, they were lying on the bed all the time. There are about a dozen old dragons here, but this is a cage with big dragons and small cages. In the middle of Zheng Laolong, there is a very exquisite house. That exquisite house is all made of gold as if powder was not inlaid with the jewels that seemed dissatisfied. But why did that exquisite house appear in such a gloomy place? So Roha thought to himself, the person living in that exquisite house must be their leader, and in every cage, there are many recovered people in front of them. All of them had heart-shaped chests that were affectionate and strong, and they were still doing face, just staring at the people in Lee's cage. Fortunately, Roha and Sasha did not reveal themselves. He quietly hid in a corner and observed, otherwise he would definitely be beaten as a fool now, and he would definitely not be able to escape, so many people. I have a plan in mind next week, and that is a plan to lure snakes out of their holes. Sasha whispered to the downstairs how to lead a snake out of a hole. Is there anything I can do to help? Roha whispered to Sasha, the most important thing for you now is to save those people from the cage when you let me duel with him. I give you the pure love potion. If you drop them into their eyes, they will naturally wake up, but they will be a little weak after waking up. But there is no other way. You need to enter fast and take everyone to run away from the back door. I will tell you the exact location of the back door when the time comes. Remember that the speed must be fast. Because I am afraid that he will check at any time and give us our plan, and he will go back again, which will be bad. And those who recover, I'll use you to stun them, but at most 15 minutes. You have to get him out within 15 minutes, you have to get them all out and take them as far away as possible. By the way, remember that it must go to your place, and other places are controlled by it, and only your place is temporarily safe. Xiaosha's Roha said yes, I got it. Roha, but you have to be careful, don't push yourself too hard. What Luya said to Xiaosha, don't worry, who am I, Roya? It's not that you don't know that I'm very capable, and others can't hurt me. As long as I'm a fan of hurting him, don't worry, you should still worry about the person who is dueling with me, I can't guarantee whether that person is alive or dead. Okay, Roha, I know you are amazing, but you have to be careful about everything. Be careful, I will take them seriously and wait for you to come back. Remember, if you have to, you should use what I gave you. That thing can save your life at a critical moment. Remember to use it and whether to use the city wall or not. If you run out of time, let us know. Let's escape together. Don't hold on. I'm going to say with a smile, do you see someone who can hold on when we are in love? I will definitely talk about procrastinating, and let you go. Maybe I can fight him, and I will kill him. Roha said with a smile, don't worry, we only lived in the world before, how could I be so easy to be done by him? Not even worthy of my teeth. I will definitely procrastinate to defeat it. Don't worry, he is just a piece of cake for him. On the contrary, you must remember to use that magic spell. Okay, I understand, you can go quickly. When you wait until I give an order, you must stealthily grab them and knock them unconscious. In fact, you don't need to admit that the smoke in the middle of them will stun them all 3 times, but remember that you don't have to place orders and use them for others. Because the wind will return to you today, so you have to stand in front of them and shoot at them, otherwise you and their personnel will also faint together. After Roha and Sasha finished explaining, they kicked open the door between the doors and couldn't open it at all. He carefully used magic to open the door 10 times on the left. You quietly opened it and took the mountain directly. One of us said, Luoya, I finally waited for you, and you finally came. It seems that you came very fast and your ability is still very strong. It's the mirage and the magic wand that cracked me so quickly. It seems really not to be underestimated. Roha was surprised when he heard this voice. Who are you? Who are you? Why did you catch so many people and set up a trap like this for me? What is your purpose? Then the dragon press went off the assembly line one by one, and quickly exited to implement it, ready to listen to his orders and save the hostages. The man slowly stood up from his seat and turned his back to Roha. Roha took a closer look at the back. This back turned out to be so familiar, but he couldn't remember who this back was. The man turned his head slowly. His entire head and face were covered with a mask, only revealing a pair of sharp eyes. That eye has been staring at Royaya, staring at him so stubbornly that I felt a little trembling. Roha even had some fear in the eyes of this person, and the back was like a person Roha had seen before, but Roha couldn't remember why. You finally came, but I have been waiting for you for a long time. Why, do you feel strange seeing me? Oh, by the way, I forgot, the current Roha doesn't know me at all. The current Roha only knows how to concentrate to save a world that has nothing to do with him. He doesn't care about his hatred at all, let alone time for revenge. Who are you? Dare to show your face, come to us for a heads up, and why do you want to take those hostages? They have no grudges against you, what do you have in mind? 5.8. You will know this sooner or later. Why are you here to organize me now? I tell you, it's impossible. This is my most important part. I can't let you ruin my plan. The man in black, the man wearing a black mask, said fiercely to Roha. I, Roha, have always lived for world peace, so it is impossible for me to make you unfair to this world. It is impossible for this world to let you do whatever you want. Don't go too far. What does Aokiji have to do with you? Are you using him to do something bad? Roha said to the man. Impossible, then why are you doing these things, and what is your purpose? And what the words Aochi said, what do they mean? What are you trying to do? Believe it or not, I can kill you with a single sword. Roha said fiercely. Chapter 408. The two are entangled. The man in black has been pestering Roha, and Roha has been looking for opportunities to give Sasha a chance to rescue the hostages. So she has been entangled with the one in the black cloak. Roha said to the man in the black cloak and the mask, who are you? Why don't you show your face? Do you know how much damage you can do to the underwater world? Do you know what this means, in that world? If you dare not take all their exclusive treasures, the whole world will be destroyed, and it will be destroyed incisively and vividly. I can't control so much. For my grand cause, what's the point of sacrificing those people? I haven't let them pay the price for me. What the hell are they? They don't know the pain I'm talking about. They never know what I have done for this world, they only know what I want. I only know how to retaliate blindly, so I want them all to come, and let them return everything to me. Roha said, Who the hell are you? Oh 9. The person who was controlled by the black devil before and the people who poured into me for the first time because it was like a dream. Or all you. Do you know me? Roha, don't be sentimental. I have always done things alone, and I have always been daring, but there are those things. If I have to do that, I can't let me do it by myself, because you all have responsibilities. Why do you put the responsibility on me alone? Why do you do this? Do you know how much this hurts me? Now, I can finally repay you one by one, let you also taste my pain, and let you know that your splendid and colorful life has been destroyed by others. The taste of falling. If you are like this, if you hate first, you will not succeed. To be a person, you must have a conscience of heaven and earth, and you must work hard for the peace of this world. And you have been destroying world peace like this. You don't know that you will be revengeful for doing this. No, Roya, I can't see the bedroom. Even God, he will not let you do whatever you want. Ha ha ha, you tell me that God tells me about the conscience of heaven and earth. Roha, it seems that you are really a hypocrite, a complete hypocrite. Could it be that you don't remember anything you did before? When you came out to play with us, you didn't say a word. At that time, why didn't you talk about the conscience of heaven and earth, and then why didn't you talk about human justice? What the hell are you talking about? What slaughtered you all? Don't slander me. I, Roha, have always done things fairly. You want to do things alone, and I have never done things. I will never admit it. You don't need to frame me again. I tell you, Roha, sooner or later, you will be clear. Sooner or later, when my divine power is strong, I will step on you under my feet and smash it off. I've cut you with 1,000 swords, divided your corpse into 5 horses, and avenged our clansmen. At that time, even if you don't want to bully you, it's impossible. Because at that time I was already stronger than you, and at that time I was stronger than anyone in the world, so I can protect the people who belong to us, protect the people I love, and kill you hateful people. It's impossible for you to do this. Your extreme thoughts will only make you fall deeper and deeper into the devil's way. You should wake up quickly. I can still forgive you. You can still be a person on this planet. We still won't complain about you. At least you haven't made any big mistakes now. You don't have to pretend to be a good person here. I know what tricks you are playing. I tell you that even if these people are gone today, you will have these people who saved a whole world, and I will kill them one by one. Use them to refine the blood-devouring pill. I don't believe that with the strength of so many people, it is impossible for me to defeat you. Do you think that with such evil power, you can really do justice? Do you think your little sprites can beat me? You really think it's too simple to tell you? Although I, Roha, dare not claim to be number 1 in the world, but I tell you, it is more than enough to deal with you. Although I am not a person with the greatest ability, I will do my best to defeat you and defeat all those who want to hurt the world. I can't let you think about destroying world peace. It is impossible for you to make this well-maintained world a tool of remuneration in your hands. I don't care what festivals you and I have had in the past, but that was in the past, although I can't remember anything now. But I know that I must have done something to hurt you, that's why you want to take revenge so violently, but trust me, there is no pleasure in taking revenge like this. If you can kill me and you can feel happy, of course I can, but I know you're not happy. You might as well say that letting go of someone is happier. It's happier to save a world, don't you know? Are you not satisfied at all? Roha, your chicken soup for the soul is useless to me, because in my eyes, these are just jokes. I tell you, you will take out those hostages if you want to delay time. You can never crack the password in this place, and it is impossible for you to rescue them. Don't forget me, Laoya, I'm not alone here. I have thousands of people here guarding those hostages. Just to get them to run away. If you find them running away, kill them, so I don't know if you want to keep them or kill them. Are you trying to borrow my little to kill them? Yes, no problem, I can help you. But you can't imagine that you will come out to eat some people from my days, or else I will live for so many years in vain. It seems that you have always thought about it. If you think about it, how can I be the only one, Roha? Could it be that you also have an army of several thousand, so we can do a fight to the death? But I will never show you any mercy, and you can't control what kind of evil power you use, because this is not a serious war. Just a war of evil, a war of injustice for the world, and a war of destruction by your ambitions. So you have no reason to tell me and you have no identity to tell me, world peace. Tell you, I used to be more righteous than you, but what's the use? Justice will only make other people look down on you, and they will really treat you as a coward, but don't you feel so cool when someone like me treats me alone, and when so many people listen to my orders? Don't you feel that this is the real self-centeredness, and let those so-called kind people be people, so that you think you are a cheapskate? Chapter 409 So-Called Justice. A righteous person can't even kill an evil person, you don't think it's too useless? Why can't a serious person like you listen to Roha? To tell you justice, you can only be bullied in the end. Only people like us can be the most powerful in the world. So, we can do whatever we want, but you can only maintain your so-called justice every day and do these so-called justice things. But you have thought that these righteous things that you have done are not enough, it is their samples. Oh, no, it's not wishful thinking, it's just that they use it to do normal things. In their opinion, it is normal for you to save them, and it is only natural. But are you really just right for her? You have always just wanted to have a good reputation, but gradually you will feel that justice is not so easy to do. Sometimes they will get retribution because you killed someone by mistake, you will either hate you for throwing you out, you experience or I feel down. Do you know how I was feeling at the time? I hated these people thoroughly at the time, but at that time I really still belonged to that sect and I still couldn't kill them, so I kept forbearing. I held back the anger in my heart, I tried to suppress him, but was finally discovered. The justice I ran away from, they still took 3/4 of my mana. Did you know that I was beaten and abused by them like a cripple? Say what am I? Say what I am. Traitor, you know that feeling. Do you know what it feels like to be stabbed in the heart of the person you care about the most? So I'm going to take revenge now, and I'm going to take revenge on the so-called righteous people together with them. Let them have a taste of what benefits it can bring them for a week, just like you and me, a person with strong martial arts and powerful mana like you should not be convinced by them. You can't be trended by them, you have to be your own master and your own world. If you are slowly attached to them, they will only think that everything you do is justified, and you are born to protect them. Do you think you are worthy of your supernatural energy? When Roha heard the sad words he really wanted to turn over. He felt that the person in front of him must have been seriously injured or injured by someone. That's why she said so many things to herself. Listening to the sobbing voice of the person he listened to, I actually felt a trace of sympathy in my heart. He did not expect this man to have such a tragic experience. He was really homesick at this time. I was missing this person. His experience made him think, could it be that justice can really be misunderstood? Sean. But if he really became evil, he would be really sorry for his conscience, but at the same time he would not be able to deal with the person in front of him. Maybe he knew that Qian was wrong to protect justice, so he was misunderstood by them as he is today. That's why he has become such a person who kills without blinking an eye, and who kills casually and deducts rhetoric. He can't kill him even more. Because he had never seen this person before, he felt that he must have a story. And he definitely did not arrest people so easily. He can be reformed when he is already the kind of person they forced him to go. He can let it return to his original heart and let him continue to work hard for the peace and tranquility of the world. Is it possible that this is more valuable than killing it? Roha looked at him thinking. Roha, you don't need to say any more. There is no way to compromise. I'm not keeping you from seeing my true colors. The love of this world. There is one person but the strongest of anything. But there is no second powerhouse in this world except me, Roha, of course, if you can help me to achieve my grand cause. I will definitely help you to make the two of us the strongest in the world, otherwise, I advise you not to interfere with me, otherwise, you will regret it. You're enough, don't say it anymore. It's impossible for me, Roha, to conspire with you. It's impossible, I advise you to let them go quickly. Otherwise, I can kill you immediately, and I will not be merciful to you because of what you have experienced, so you delusionally want to take everything from me and the power to protect them. Roha saw that Sasha made a good gesture for herself, which meant that she had successfully stunned the guards, and she could save them in the next step. At this time, Roha only needs to lead him out so that Sasha can save their time. At this time, Roha said, "Okay, if you win me, I can disappear, no longer care about your affairs, no longer protect any of them, and I can also help you. But if you lose, you can't do things that hurt the world, you have to let them go immediately, and don't let me see you and do bad things from now on. If I find out, I'll be willing to sacrifice mine. I will die with you, too." Quote. "Okay, Roha, it's a man, then I can listen to you. As long as I lose, I will quit this world and your world immediately, and I won't hurt them again, okay? But Roha, don't talk too much. You don't know who wins and who loses. You've made such a big bet now. Could it be that you have some treasure that can kill me?" "Ha ha ha, I, Roha, have never used those insidious means, and I, Roha, have never spoken big. If I'm really not as good as you, then I can die by myself and never live, okay? I tell you, that weird guy in black clothes, I, Roha, have always been like this, open-minded, and but you only dare to show a pair of eyes. At least no matter what I do, I dare to face the world and dare to accept their accusations." "Roha, shut up, you have no idea how much wrong I have suffered, you have no idea what I have experienced in those days. I have experienced despair and grief that I have never experienced in my life. You simply do not understand." Then a feeling of being misunderstood. Quote. "And that feeling of being abandoned by your relatives, you don't understand at all." The man shouted to Roha piercingly. "Yes, I don't understand. You don't think that you can release your inner pressure by doing this. You will only make them hate you more, hate you, you know." Roha comforted him and said that although he knew it was useless, he still wanted to try it. He still wants to give it a try, to see if it can relieve him, because then he can still help him not to become so bad, but it all depends on his attitude. Chapter 410 War Black Kidnapping Mania. "You don't need to say any more, I won't believe you even if you say more. Because these people are really incomparable. No matter how much useless you tell them, they won't believe you in their eyes. I have become that person. Since I'm a murderous demon like him, even if you try to persuade me, I won't change who I am, I just want to kill them. Call them all so that no one in the world will ever misunderstand me again." "No, you are wrong, are they really such people in your eyes? In fact, you don't think so in your heart, you just can't get over the hurdle in your heart. In fact, you in your heart have always wanted to protect them as if they were the only ones. But why would you do that? Why do you have to be a good devil in their eyes? Because if you don't want them to explain it, just explain it clearly. Even if I can't explain it clearly, you still use your previous appearance," and he slowly moved them. "Don't you really understand? I still don't understand why they misunderstand you like that, but it's just because you're doing things the wrong way. So you have to change your way of doing things. Age to win their forgiveness." "What exactly do you mean? Why am I going to sue them for 437 to forgive you, to find out that they did it? I was the one who hurt me first. It's good for you to say it's my fault now. Don't think that you are powerful in martial arts, don't think that you can accuse me casually because of your strong energy. Let me tell you that I have never been a person who does things indistinctly. I was forced by them, and I was forced by them, you know. Okay, don't talk about it, don't talk about it. If you beat me, I can walk away, I will choose to ignore it, but if you lose, just go back to me obediently, and obediently be the person you used to be, and stop thinking about being number one in the world. Everyone has their own destiny. Like me, although I have such ability, you will never know the pain in my heart. Just like you, although you look sharp on the outside and want to take revenge, you know that in your heart, you can't do anything. Otherwise you couldn't keep them here like this without doing anything to them, wouldn't you? In fact, you are still very kind at heart, right? So please accept your original intention and stop being deceived by them. I know that you actually want to be a good person in your heart, but it changes from time to time and is forced by the situation in this world. You can totally get back to yourself. Square root and GT. I can help you if I can. Oh Ruya, don't say it anymore. The black devil took out a whip and rushed straight to Roha's whip, almost hitting. Fortunately, Roha is agile. Otherwise, if this whip goes down, Roha will definitely lose the opportunity. Tell you, it's useless for you to say these things now. The only thing I want to kill now is. I'm going to kill all of them, and I don't need to persuade me anymore. No matter how much you persuade, I'm useless. We said yes, then we'll go out and fight again. This place is too small. There's no room for the two of us, right? What if the secret room you built with great difficulty collapsed, wouldn't it? I wasted a lot of your hard work and I came alone today, so don't worry, I won't use the trick of turning tigers away from mountains. If you're a man, go out and fight with me. There will be no winner or loser. If you are too timid to fight me, you can of course let them go. Roha, don't care about the past. Ha ha ha, do you think I'm the type of person who would run away? Look at Roha, I'll beat you to the ground. I will beat you to 2 o'clock to beg me for mercy. Don't worry, I will definitely give you death, at least it won't make your death too ugly. Kiss, are you boasting about Heiko now? Aren't you afraid to wait for nothing? Let me tell you that Roha has not lost before, and I don't see it at all in the face of such a little brat like you. Even one hand can beat you. Not to mention that my 2 hands are still so powerful, so I advise you to admit defeat now, before it's too late. Roha, you speak carefully. I tell you that even if I fail to defeat you, I will not be humiliated by you. So, Roha ran out of the secret room as the man in black, and I wanted to delay his time as much as possible in order to give Sasha a chance to win. The purpose is so that Sasha can rescue everyone safely. Well, then Roha instantly used her sword and stabbed the man in black with a sword, but the man in black was very good at dodging and turned away. Roha said with a smile, I didn't expect your kid to be capable of Shandong. Then I'll show you this piece of Wuyanan, except for the one divine pill that I asked him to ask him, even to see that divine pill at night. When he came out, his body didn't know how to get there, and he couldn't move. The Christmas hit him heavily, and a burst of energy erupted. The man in black with the energy slowly burned the clothes on his body. Seeing that something was wrong, the black man immediately released the frozen energy. Your trick is still a little tender. I am a famous man in black. How could I have hurt me here? Roha, you are still too tender, but Roha said immediately, this is just a piece of cake. The real big dish is yet to come. You have to be careful with these big meals, but you accidentally hurt you. Roha is not responsible. A good fight to the death. In fact, Sasha came into contact with the instructions of old Roha, and then slowly approached the cage that was filled with people. They also watched as those famous words slowly invaded into the bodies of those guardians, and those guardian soldiers fell down immediately. Hit one after the other. Seeing that they all dazzled him, and then he began to slowly crack the lock. According to No's idea, according to how much method. Slowly trying to unlock the lock, and after a while, he unlocked it. I didn't expect Roha's method to be really useful. What did I think about? It seems that Roha's law is really not in vain, and then slowly. Looking at you slowly. People at work are still asleep. At first glance, he was frightened by the man in black. So he quickly took it out. What about their ancestral medicine? Feed them one by one, and after a while, they all woke up. You are there, start yelling. In order to prevent black people from being allowed to have tea, Rap immediately said that you should not speak first. I am here to save you, I am Shanshan. Although some of you don't know me, please believe me, I am here to save you. you must not speak, now Roja is dueling with that black man outside. Chapter 411 Beat the Masked Man. Once your words reveal your identities, even if God descends to earth, he will not be able to save you. Now you line up one by one, follow me out the back door, remember not to step on the cordon on the ground. Because Roja is trying his best to help you delay time at this time, you must not give him the chain now, otherwise Roja's hard work will be in vain, and he will risk his life to save you. I know you have no strength right now, but I hope you can persevere for him, otherwise, all his hard work will be in vain, do you understand now? If I do whatever I want, I will bring a lot of burden, you understand. So the first thing I have to do now is to quickly shut your mouth, and then go out with me quietly from behind. Ruoya has been helping Sasha and the others to save people, and has been stubbornly fighting against it for delaying time, but in Roja, his martial arts skills are not 1/3 of his own. So it was really easy to fight with him. So I didn't take her to heart at all, I just played with her to delay time with Sasha. Roja, when did your martial arts improve so much, that even I started to be a little dull? What strange things have you cultivated? Don't think that you can't beat me, you can slander me casually. I, Roja, do things alone, and never say learn those crooked ways. I come step by step based on my own foundation and my own ability. But what about you? You actually want to use their lives to practice your own abilities, so that your skills can be greatly increased. Are you not being selfish? Look at the sword. Roja, taking advantage of the gap between his words, the leaves picked up the sword and pointed at the sword directly. Roja rushed straight to the man in black. One of the buttons of his clothes was hung up at once, and his clothes instantly grew open, revealing scars one after another. How is this going? Why do you have so many scars on your body, are they all from your practice? Roja asked curiously, there are so many scars on this person. And Roja has been looking at that scar for a long time, this person must not be simple. Since he said that treating this person like this is full of hatred, it seems to be forgivable. The man in black quickly covered his wounds, his mask hadn't been knocked off by Roja, so he didn't know who he was, so he said to Roja, you don't have to pity me, my own affairs, my own. It can be solved, you just have to take care of yourself. Quote. Although I have done a lot of evil but you look at them, this thing they beat me, this is all their good deeds, do you still want to fight for them now? I really tell you that there are not so many kind people in the world. Just like me, I used to always kindly help them do various things, but you know, they think that I am a bad person from a distance. Doing all kinds of things will be misunderstood by them as my intention, even if one day a powerful monster comes there. They told me to go out and fight him, so I went out. But after I went out, I came in blind, but that monster was so powerful. As a result, the monster killed one of them directly for revenge. I didn't stop him, but that blamed me after I left. Many people surrounded me, pointed at me, abused me, beat me, and even beat me with whips. They say you are useless. They say why don't you use your true abilities? Why do you have to? Some people even said that I was with him, and the purpose was to rob them of their treasures. Do you think it's funny? Roja, who used to be such a simple and kind person who always wanted to help others, finally became just like me. Do you think I'm wrong? Do I want to protect their treasures and realize their original wish? Right, I am Roja who was forced by them. You can help me now, or kill me. I can never get rid of the hatred in my heart that they left on me, right? But it's much more than that. Roja suddenly felt sorry for the person in front of him. In the past, this person, he actually didn't have a particularly bad heart, and he was not as bad as the Black Devil. She slaughtered so many people, but the man in black in front of her had a bit of a temper. Although they also kidnapped many people, she didn't hurt them. Now that he has heard such a tragic story, he doesn't know if it's true or not, but now he knows. Every scar on his body can prove that what he said is true. He didn't expect some people to be so evil. She was hurt just to beg them, but he still blamed him. Slowly he beat him. If it was Roha, she would definitely do the same, but not as intense and extreme as him. What's wrong? Roha is silent. Could it be that you are beginning to sympathize with me, right? Isn't this Roha who vowed to protect world peace? I'm bullying them now, I'm going to kill them now. Why did you kill me? Come and kill me, I've had enough of this torture and I don't have the courage to die, so I've been looking for someone who can kill me happily. It's just that I'm not reconciled, I'm really not reconciled. Roha stopped the sword in his hand, and the sword returned to when it fell, but Roha didn't shoot the sword or kill him. He only said one thing to that person: if you can repent now, I will forgive you. I think those people at the bottom of the sea will also forgive you, they know your desire. Because you didn't hurt them. It's just that you made an appointment with them, and you just seem to let them sleep here, and you didn't make up your mind to hurt them at all. I believe that as long as you truly repent, they will surely believe in you again. They will definitely not scold you and beat you again. Because I believe that there are good people and bad people in this world, but the bad people are often very few. All the good people are sincere and kind-hearted. So you can't use the thinking of those few people to force the good people all over the world. There are many good people in the world, but you haven't met them. The ones you meet are all bad people who are stubborn and mischievous. Why should you be serious with them? Just like those scars on your body, those are in the past tense, but now if you want to lift these up again, just hurt, wouldn't it hurt more? Yes, you are right, it will hurt more, but these candies are all brought to me. I will give it back to them thousands of times, 10,000 times. These hurts, even if you order something. Chapter 412 Sincere Conversation. For their pain, the pain they pierced in my heart is far more painful than the scars they left on my body. Do you know? I stayed there for more than 10 years from birth to the present. Although I was born later, I was not born there. On the first day I went, someone helped me and I picked up my luggage. I knew there were good people in this world. The next day there was a monster. I came and I beat them and they started to admire me. I think I found myself here, I think I found happiness. But they didn't expect that a year later, their attitudes had completely changed. They complained that I am a person who only knows how to fight and nothing. I said yes, do I help you to defeat him for you? So many people, don't you think I am okay? And then you know what to say to me, they tell me you're a wooden head. What you eat is just our slaves here, just to help us fight monsters. At that time, I felt that my efforts were all in vain. If I'm hungry but I can't eat by myself. So I thought if I could ask them for some food, but they all turned me away. One day I couldn't feel my injured arm at all and couldn't move, but they drank a mouthful of water by themselves, and they didn't cook a single meal for me. They just laughed and joked about the details of fighting monsters. They never cared about myself. So one day I thought I was going to leave them and find a world that was truly mine, but the day I left was the beginning of what I told you about. I was going to feel chilled when I heard this. He suddenly had a headache, and he recalled a little bit of his past. But as soon as I had it, I forgot that this person could resonate with me, maybe he would have the same experience as me. Is it possible that I was like this before? No, when I find my own memory one day, I will explain it clearly, Roha thought to himself. No, these are just your one-sided words, why should I believe you? There are so many good people in the world, how could there be prejudice against you because of you? You must have done something to cause their misunderstanding. I believe you go back and explain it to them now, I believe you will be accepted by them again. Because compared to being a bad person, don't you think it's harder to be a good person? So it's really easy to be a bad person. As long as you kill a person, she is a bad person, but if you want to be a good person, even if you are like a person, he will not think you are a good person, so why should we be a good person? Do you know why I want to be a hero to save the world? I am not a hero because of this title, I am for my own conscience, and I am not for their compliments to me. Of course, I also told you that I am really infatuated with their compliments to me, and of course I do not reject their compliments to me. I admit that I have a little selfishness myself. But I didn't use them like you did. I know you were misunderstood by them. So they also misunderstood me once, and I was broken down at the time, but I survived because I felt that. Change your mindset. Maybe it's better to be free and happier than to kill them. At least you can sleep well at night, right? Although I don't know you because you always wear a mask, I believe that you are the real person under the mask. Just take off the mask and put on your original clothes to stop killing people. I want to practice again. You have to believe in your own ability, believe in yourself, although not the strongest, but I hope you are the strongest in your heart. Roha, I really appreciate you talking to me so much. We don't even know each other. I think you should have rescued those people by now. Roha said to him in surprise, how could you? No. I actually knew from the very beginning when you came, that you are not alone to call my patriarch's daughter, right? All your scheming, I knew it, but I didn't stop it. I just want you to get them out. Then I won't become the so-called murderer in their eyes. At least I feel my original heart. But Roha, I said so much to you. Every word is true. I am really in pain. I know that I have wronged those people, but I really can't control myself. When I think of the way he used to treat me, and the words of Gu Rui, I am really disappointed with me. That's why I tied them in a knot for a while, and I'm very grateful that you came to save them, otherwise I really don't know what to do. Who are you? You are really familiar, but I can't remember anything. He directly lifted the mask slowly. The appearance in front of him actually surprised Luya. His brother should not miss more in his heart. How can Aokiji be you? Why are you different from the one I saw 2 days ago, you? Roha was very curious, looking at the person in front of him, full of worry and grief, and even a little miss. How? Is it weird to see me? Seeing me like this now is more terrifying than it was 2 days ago. Me, I know you despise me now. I know you have a lot of complaints against me now, but I really do. Having had enough of all the treatment in this world, I really want to give myself a free name. I actually always thought, if I kidnap them, I know you will come to save them. I thought if I could see you, you let me free myself for a while, but I didn't expect you to do it either. Roha shouted in surprise, so you already knew that I was coming to save them. Did you just want me to kill you, so that you can be relieved? Chinzi, you are really stupid. Why did you do that? When I just met you 2 days ago, I didn't tell you and Sasha. Well, I know you must be forced to come here, but I didn't think that the man in black is why you kidnapped him. Why do you want me to kill you? You can tell me what it is, and why. To say that I have treated you like that. I can't really remember the memories of my past. It's like I've been washed away. So I really don't know what happened in the past. I really did something wrong to you before. Please just forgive me, because I have always regarded you as a brother and not a stranger. Aokiji shook his head and said that it was all in the past. Chapter 413 True Colors. Now that I see you think about them so much, I think it's enough that this world should be guarded by you. You'd better not think about the past. My past is really a diabolical nightmare for you. If you think about it, I think you will live more terrifying and sad than me. So I will help your grandson layer your memory again. I hope you will never think of the previous thing to do one, and now happy Roha who can help others, don't repeat the same mistakes like me. Aokiji, why did you become like this? If you say it, I will help you, because why are you kidnapping those people? I didn't mean to kidnap him, did I? I just want to use the pretext of kidnapping them. I can let Roha, you kill me yourself. That way I can be freed. Is not it? You don't know how tired I am living in this world. I don't have the courage to kill myself and wear such a skin every day. I am so sad and desperate. Then why am I your face than when I saw you in 09 2 days ago? Still hurt. It's even ugly, isn't it? Isn't it scarier? You didn't expect me to be like this. I thought you didn't recognize me. Aokiji, even if I don't recognize others, I won't recognize you. Every time I think of you and I practicing martial arts and energy together, I feel so happy, I seem to be back to the way we were before. Can you tell me what happened to you? You still remember the year we were together. Days of contacting the law together. I was the most beautiful and the happiest at the time. But since you left, my master also wants me to go outside to cultivate, and even if you leave for 10 years, I think you won't be able to come back. You were asked to go outside by me, and you thought you went to practice like you, but whoever thought of it? I always thought that people outside were so beautiful and so happy. But a year later, because of a misunderstanding or an accident, they began to be critical of me in every possible way, but I remembered that it was your teaching. Said that no matter what the circumstances cannot hurt others. Can't hurt innocent people, so they didn't tell them to fight back, beat and kick them. You know how I feel. You know that feeling of being powerless when they misunderstand you. It was that time that made me feel a kind of hatred. They tried magic because of me, because the monster was too powerful, so I used 90% of the skill, but I didn't expect it. Please accidentally get hurt. The next one is also blamed by them. They think I will become an old monster. See. They beat me after they started. Still cold, I started to say that I even started to see the moment I felt the indifference of human nature. I didn't want to stay there ever since, but on the day I left, they burned my house and my clothes. Then I lost some of my houses in that village, and they took me out with a stick, you know. Roja has never experienced such despair. Sometimes where to die can now decide. I'm going to drop them all, kill them all, and call you the magic pill of my practice. Please point out that it is not like this. You are so kind and happy. But even after the first time I met you a few days ago, I found that the whole person has changed. Your whole person is different. You have become too indifferent. It became a bit like a lava god looking at me. Your eyes made me terrified and then desperate. I said that I feel that you have changed, Aokiji, but I didn't expect that the kidnapped person would know you. It's really you, and my heart has never been able to believe it. However, when I saw you today, I realized that you said so many grievances after I left, but you cannot kill so many people because of these grievances. Thankfully you haven't made a big mistake yet. Otherwise, I really won't be your brother again. Roja, do you really want to do this to me? Do you really do not understand the pain in my heart? You have never really thought about me. You have always been the world in your heart, but how is this world, how to help others? Do you really never regard me as your relative? I am so wronged. It doesn't hurt anymore. I can get paid if I get stuck like this. Roja, is this still you? Aokiji, do you know, you said that if I were you at the time, I would never complain. Because we are born such people to speak and to serve them. I mean, don't fucking kill me and I won't be like you. So don't blame me for hitting you hard, because there is nothing fair or unfair in this world. In such a dirty world, what is everyone living in with no time? But we are also the same, we are also living tenaciously, but there are too many injustices in the world, but you can't complain about these injustices. Is it right to hurt innocent people with these injustices with friends? Of course you can kill him, but think about it, after you delete them and kill them, will you feel uneasy in your heart? Will you really let go? Are you really happy? In fact, if you think about it, you will know that it is better to let go of hatred than to kill them, right? That way I can know that you are a big-hearted person. 063. Because in my eyes it is always the happy and lively light, if I let someone who is good at helping others clear. I know what you said about the great pain. I saw the scars on your face. I am really sad for you. I am really sad. Others will treat you like this. You must think carefully about whether you would have done the same thing if you were at that time. People should compare their hearts to their hearts, right? These scars of you, although the pain is on your body, but it hurts in my heart. Do you really think our brotherhood for so many years is fake? I don't really worry about you for a moment. Really, I'm telling you the truth. In that place, you're the only person I care about, the only one I see. Now you're like this. My heart really hurts, but what? You knew about my plan today, but you gave up the chance to catch them. I know you are still very kind. Aokiji, listen to me, let it go. I think you don't think too much. I'll let you turn some people around. I'm just trying to give me some relief. I know it's impossible to kill them with my own hands, so I want to see you there so that I can get some relief. I want you Aokiji to help me solve the pain in my body, so that my conscience will be at peace. Chapter 414 Goodbye my friend. But you are going to take your life. Do you think that you will not be able to be liberated in this way? You must be clear that in this world, in our filthy world, everything is not for granted. Just like you are like the people you have helped those. When you go back again, they will definitely be grateful to you, but they discussed it with me and you. Although they can keep their mouths shut, they won't feel it, and others won't know about it. But do you really sleep well too? I know you can't sleep, because Chingzi, you are not such a person, because you are always a good person in my heart. Sasha has rescued all the hostages, and he has placed those people in a safe place where he knows his own residence, at least that place is safe. He quickly ran back to the place where the crime happened and wanted to help Roha defeat the man in black. He couldn't leave Roha there alone. So she ran back and he wanted to help me. I couldn't have an abortion all by myself. The reasons for these things are still their own. He has been watching them from the corner. He is afraid of gnashing his teeth, and there is a slight injury. In this way, Sasha will really feel sorry for her. He thought that if it was done, he could really come out safely. How happy would he really be? They kept talking there for a long time, but Aokiji was still as cold as ever. Those people pay the price. Don't think about him in your heart, it's a great stimulus in your heart. So he didn't talk too much about it, just talk to youth. If you really want to let them go, you want to free yourself, but I won't kill you. You say my best brother, best friend. How could I have the heart to watch you die, and besides, you want to borrow my palm. You are free. Don't you know that you are cruel to me too? Although I used to set things up that could happen, so am I, but in my eyes, you have always been a good person to me. You hold a good heart and only pay now to be done by those people. It's just tarnished. You just can't get over that hurdle in your heart, trust me. In the future, you will slowly accept it. This is the way the world is. There is no right or wrong. There is only life payment. If you want to be a good person, you can be a good person. If you want to be a bad person, of course you can be a bad person, but it can only come from the real thoughts in your heart. Of course I know that you are a difficult person, otherwise you would not let them out easily, and you would not simply stun them. Instead of killing them, they made magic pills. Roha, you shouldn't believe me, you will let you down if you believe me. I don't believe in you, I only believe in your original self. So you will stop doing stupid things. Go back and explain my current body well to them. If I really can, I will help you mediate. If it is not possible, I will use my ability. Then they disappear and you can still be your hero there. I can still be your real Aokiji. You are now covering your face and we will come out today and you will hate you blindly. Disgust, you are really what you want, I know you are not. It was written that Sasha thought that Roha and Aokiji actually started chatting, and they didn't fight very fiercely. I thought it would be possible. What would this person do for him in the past? Go over to the black man and tell him until you go to the battlefield. The face that looked at the man in black was startled, but the face of the black man was really miserable, with a scar on the right. The left face seems to be burned again, and there is no complete place on the whole face. I couldn't sleep a lot of the time, so it must have something to do with Roha. Otherwise, Roha would not let him go so easily. Then the black man suddenly called out. Enough to see and enough to hear. Sasha heard that it seemed that he had discovered that he would simply show up directly. He wanted to do it, and he did not dare to hurt himself rashly. You walked out stupidly, and quickly ran behind Noah. Now that I have researched that black big man. If you want to take it back, the downstairs won't let you go. I advise you to hurry back to your place. That black man said with a smile, you dare to accuse me of being deaf, did you hear that? He even dared to make me, do you think this world is really fair? Roha said to Sasha. Sasha, you misunderstood. He didn't really want to hurt them. They just wanted to drive me out just to see him kidnapped, and then kill him to be relieved. We all misunderstood him. He didn't hurt any of them. You say so, Sasha. Roha spoke to Sasha earnestly for a long time, and he has been actively yielding to Shang, so don't get me wrong. Because youth can no longer bear such a blow. He really has to stabilize Aokiji now, in case he does anything else. Could it be that you really have something to hide? You say Roha will definitely help you. However, none of you can help me, only I can help myself in this matter. If you just let me go now, one day, I'm out of things that you'll regret. Don't get me today and wait for tomorrow. I really can't guarantee what I'll do. No, Aokiji, I believe you have always been kind in your heart. Sneak through and I'll let you go, and you won't do anything else in the future. You just need to remember my words in your heart. The good and evil of heaven and earth are only your original intention. As long as you know that this sentence has always maintained your original intention, no matter what happens, as long as you think of this sentence of mine and everything I just said to you, I believe that you will have your self-sustaining power. This is not a dream. I hope that you can create a world about you in other places. I hope that in the eyes of others, listening to his voice is a kind masked man in black. Not a mysterious black man who kidnapped, murdered and set fire everywhere. I think I am in the impression of others. Aokiji, the man in black, is kind-hearted. Please don't say anything. Just retreated Chenloya and Sasha to turn their heads, picked up the black cat from the ground, and then disappeared into the sky with a puff of smoke. Sasha, I asked Ji Yuya curiously, did you just let him go? Aren't you afraid that he will kidnap and kill people in the future? Roha bowed to Sasha. That's my friend, I believe him. Well, since you Roha believe in someone, I am willing to believe it, because I see that he is not bad in nature. Yes, all of this is probably fate, including myself. I can't escape the arrangement of fate. Yeah, just like you and me, God just let you and I meet each other. You said how faithful we are. Sasha said affectionately, looking at Roha. Chapter 415 Treasure is Born. Roha watched helplessly as the Aokiji turned into a puff of smoke and disappeared in front of him. Then he asked the Sasha family to let them all out. Then, I want them to rebuild a home, because although youth itself is not like killing them, she still does some sad things. He was still after all, and then that home was destroyed. As Aokiji's friend, and as Aokiji's former master, he also has to take on this responsibility. He said he could help them build the village together and then go back to the world that belonged to it, which was what Roha was all about. No matter what you do, you must think about others, never complain about your own affairs, and never put others' opinions on him first in his life, and he has never resisted one point. He was so happy all the time. In fact, happiness is living in helping others. But Sasha didn't want him Roha to go at all in her heart. She wanted him to stay, because in her eyes, she had already made the person in front of her, Roa Adam, the person closest to him. Roha has helped him so much from the beginning to the present. Also helped them avoid being together and avoiding 430 wars together. Sasha really admired him from the bottom of her heart. I'm really pissed that they stay and help them. Help them to say that this underwater world will flourish, and they won't be abiding by the law, but there are so many things in the sand mining ship. How can she be called such a hero? How can she only stay in such a small world? He must go out to have another seat. He can't be so selfish, so easy. A person stays here, he wants to let him go back to complete his great cause, so as to bring happiness and well-being to others. So Sasha was silent for a long time and didn't eat dinner. He kept thinking that she shouldn't have a chat with him. If I told him, he would definitely not stay. But I still want him to know my heart. After Roha finished eating, he found out that something was wrong, only to find that Sasha hadn't eaten, so he ran out by himself. He didn't know what happened to him. Could something happen again? Roha was worried about him, so he ran over quickly and wanted to talk to him. What happened to him? It's okay, Sasha said. It's okay, don't worry. I just have some things I can't figure out, but I'll be fine when I figure it out for myself. Go back quickly, those villagers, I want to thank you, by the way, Roha. Can you give me a souvenir before I go, so that when I see that thing in the future, I can think of you like when you think of everything you did for us in this village. Because of my handsome figure, when it comes to your fluent words, as long as it is a souvenir, it should not be too expensive. I just want to remember that you have something to look forward to in the boring days in the future. You can rest assured that when I become stronger in the future, I will definitely go to your me and fight side by side with you to defeat all the monsters in this world. Sasha, in fact, you don't need to do this. In fact, we are used to walking in the rivers and lakes. It's not the first time I rescued someone else, so don't take me to heart anymore. You just need to study hard and live a good life in the future. Take good care of your world and complete your mission. I, Roha, will never forget you no matter where I go. Naroya, do you have time now? Can you talk to me? I think we are your last night. I can chat with you all night, so that I won't be lonely in the future. I won't have no one to chat with me again. I feel sad, just this time, okay. I also felt that Sasha's sincere tone was also good for her. What's wrong with this? Why don't you just chat? I'll tell you what you want to say, that's all. Well, then you Roha quickly sit down. Come out next to me in the car. I want to take a good look at you on the last day. Why are you leaving in such a hurry? If you think about it, you need to know that this place is not only your world that needs help. There are many things that need to be done by me. Maybe you will feel that I am overkill. It feels like I don't need to do everything myself, but I want you to know. I just think that 1 centimeter is because everyone contributes, and the more the force is, the stronger it will be. We are very likely to defeat very powerful monsters, so one's strength is really important. So I can't be selfish and hide my own energy. I know that my body is important for some abnormal energy, but since these abnormal energy can help others, don't you think I shouldn't make good use of it? Anyone else? So I hope you can understand. I also must not go with me recklessly. You know, I will be worried, and we are very dangerous along the way, and we will encounter many, many monsters. So I don't want to hurt you, so you better stay here. Don't think about walking with me, because so much blame me, I can protect myself. But if you go with me, I'll go back and protect you, all blame me. As long as you are also in danger and I am worried, things will get worse, so Roha is waiting for me when I am sick, blame me for waiting for me, the world is at peace, I will definitely come back to you. Are you really coming back? Do you count? You won't lie to me, will you? Why do you think I'm lying to you? Do you think we've lied to you? I said I could beat him, I still dress up, I said I could throw those people out and I came out, don't you believe me? No, it's not that I don't believe in you, I just don't believe in myself a bit more than I believe I have such a great ability to get you back. I can't believe that I can meet such a perfect you. In fact, you don't need to say that when going down the mountain. Whether it's you or someone else, as long as something important happens, I will definitely help him. No matter how dangerous the road ahead is, as long as I, Roha, have a breath, I will definitely help. Even if I take my life, I will definitely help the world to be peaceful. Horde, I don't need your life back. You don't understand that there is a homeowner in this world. Although I haven't experienced other things, I have also said that many people have said it. I have heard a lot of people who come here say that our world is very dangerous and vicious. There are many hypocrites who look good on the outside, but they are always thinking of ways to deal with you in a very evil heart. So people like Roha are really hateful. You must not hurt yourself in order to help such a person. Chapter 416 Re-enter the journey. Don't worry, I Roha won't. I must protect myself well. You don't forget that I have to go with the monsters or to decorate it is all borrowed. How could I easily kill someone like that? Don't worry, I will do what I say. I've been well received, haven't I? Then I will come back safely. I don't think it will betray people's hearts. Do you know, In fact, I have always liked you in my heart. At least I think you are much kinder than those with heavy makeup. Deaf, what are you talking about? Is it true that you say you love me? You are the kind of brother and sister love. Still the kind of person who likes it. Sasha was surprised when she heard what Roja said to herself. There was even a little surprise, little excitement. You were surprised when she heard what Roja said to herself. There were still some small surprises and excitement. Although he didn't know who Luoyaji was, whether he liked aesthetics or between lovers. But in Sasha's eyes, these are enough, whether it is the love of brothers and sisters, or the love between lovers, in his eyes, as long as he has a good impression in Roja's heart, everything else doesn't matter. He thought that was enough. Because in his eyes, as long as he is, I am very satisfied with waiting for myself one day, and now I only ask, which Roja is safe and happy. Everything else is not a ball, because in his eyes, Roja is already his own family, so it is impossible to continue to like her, but she will always be here to pray for him. But as long as Roja said that he still likes her, but she will not tell him for his future, he will stay with him because of his future. More important than her and Roja being together. So he is looking at Roja now, then don't kiss him tomorrow, he already feels you lying. So even if he wants to leave now, he won't come out, let alone go with him. Because Sasha thinks if he goes with him, he has always been a drag bottle for her, can't he get it? Nothing can help him or her to write anything, so if he stays together, it's better to go by himself, because at least he has a little peace of mind in his heart to say so, at least he can do what he likes to do. Roja was stunned when he saw Sasha, so he asked, Sasha, what's the matter with you? How can it make you unhappy? What is this for? Is it just because I'm leaving that you're not happy? I'm fine, I won't come back to you after I finish the big thing. Trust me Roja, Tio, I don't believe you, just try it. It feels like you are gone after you leave. If you want to talk to me, someone is looking for me, and no one will accompany me anymore. Saying this kind of heart-wrenching words QY_yin. No, if you think too much, I will miss you every day, and you will miss me every day. Sasha heard Roja say this, will you really miss me when I see you? Do you really do? Even 12 hours a day? Then you have a share of thinking about me for a second. I'm already very content, you still have to be busy with those big things, so don't be distracted, don't worry, I will cheer you on in the back. When encountering a powerful monster, don't be stubborn, remember that protecting your own life is the most important thing, and everything else will follow. God already knows that you are working hard, because she has done too many things in this world, so you should take a break, Roja, and don't be brave. I don't think your health is very good, so I brought you a lot of these things you want, all of which were developed by ourselves, with the most precious help from the sea. So, this will definitely have a good effect when you are in a hurry to use it. In fact, I don't necessarily have to carry it with me all the time. By the way, there is this. This is a life-saving elixir. There are only Mikasa in one box, so you must use it sparingly, and don't give it to some unrelated people. Remember that this elixir can really beg your life. This is what my ancient priest said, we only have 5 in the whole world. My grandfather used one, and that one disappeared. I hand over all the remaining 3 subjects to you. Because I have discussed it with them, and they all agreed to give it to you. In their eyes, you are theirs and no hero, so you can take it with confidence, remembering these 3 medicines, do not use them indiscriminately. It should be used for yourself, because your life can be tens of thousands, hundreds of them, but if you feed him some irrelevant people, you will lose a life and save many people. Chance of life. So for them, you have to live and protect your body. I may not be able to see you off tomorrow, and I still have some things to deal with, so I'm sorry, tonight may be the last time you and I see each other. Well, okay, it's okay, you can do it first. I'm really happy to be able to talk to you tonight. It's not in vain for me to play with your friends. I am really happy that I can make friends like you. Good location, then I will help you pack up now and see if you have any other items to pick up. I try to compress you a little, before it's too late. Your meat for you, hurting for a long time. It's not easy to hang up all the way. So I often prepare a little less things for you, but you must bring Qinglong with everything so that you don't lose it, and you don't want to pick up a cat or a dog if you see a cat or a dog on the road. In fact, these medicines are all for your life-saving use, don't use them indiscriminately. Okay, I get it, you've said this to me many times, don't worry. I must take good care of everything you gave me. After going to the sand, find a good family, find someone good for you, and marry. No, I'm going to wait for you. I'm going to wait for you to come back. Before you I can't look down on other people anymore. You are the love of my life, Sasha. I'll never look down on others again. No, Sasha, I don't know how long I can live now, so I can be in danger at any time. You are still so young, don't be so sad because of me. The most beautiful youth and years of your life, so you should not wait any longer. If your aunt likes you, marry the person you like too. Roha, what are you saying? I will wait for you, regardless of age, sickness or death, hundreds of years, thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, until I die, I will wait for you in the next life. Do you know that kind of eyes that fall in love at first sight? That's the relationship between you and me. The first time I saw you, I thought you must not be easy. Chapter 417 Accidentally Told the Truth. There's an inexplicable energy in you that makes me fresh. I don't know what's wrong, but I've been with you for so many days, and I really like you. So can you not reject me? Can't let me wait for you. I know that you also like me in your heart. You're just afraid of me, so you don't want me to wait for you, right? I want to hear the truth. Whether you like it or not is enough for me to like or dislike it, and other things. I'll measure it myself, you just have to tell me an answer. Like it or not? I like it, but Roha said simply at first, but then fell silent again. No, Roha, these 2 words are enough. These 2 words will make me happy for a long time. These 2 words. Let me tell you what you like about me and what I like about you. I believe that the 2 of us will stick to the end. Just these 2 words can make me shake to wait for your courage to wait for your message, and your confidence to blame me, isn't it? You have to remember that no matter when you get hurt, you are always the best in my heart. Okay, Sasha, I believe in you, but if you're tired of waiting for a long time, just give up, okay? I don't want to see the people I like because I feel sad if one day something happens to me. When I heard Roha say this later, I quickly covered her mouth with my hand, and I didn't know what to say. Don't talk nonsense. It will definitely be safe and sound. A person with such a kind heart and such a powerful ability like you. How could God let you die? No, there will never be any accident. You will definitely come back safely. I will always. It's here. Bless you. I will let everyone bless you together and pray for you. Noah looked like he breathed slowly. His sincere words, and his manly smile, he couldn't bear to go on. Even if he thought so in his heart, he couldn't say anything about it on the surface. Faced with such a foolish person who was willing to wait for him, how could he have the heart to say anything? It is impossible for him to hit Sasha too much. Although she knows that her task is important, he still wants to give Sasha a hope, and give him a hope of love. Because in Roha's heart, Sasha is also the most important person in his life, and he must ensure that Sasha will be happy in her life. She wants to leave a good impression on Sasha's heart, and let Sasha recall her appearance in the future without crying or sadness, only with blood. Sasha and Luya talked for a long time there. Slowly, burning tired, leaning on the shoulder downstairs, fell asleep. Don't look at Shanshan, who is sleeping. She can't bear to walk away even when she is happy. The rustling of eating at home, to sleep happily, without sorrow, without distress, without worry. Why are you still sitting here? We have prepared a lot of performances. Come and watch. Suddenly, a voice came from behind. It turned out to be Aunt Wong, who was drunk. In order to thank Roha for his life-saving grace, they went to pick up many villagers to perform a show for them. They tried their best to make Laoya happy. If it is his last night, he can be happy and happy here with them, so that she has no regrets. For the future, they have a wonderful and happy memory of this underwater world. Well, let's go watch the show, or don't let them down. Okay, let's go crazy again on the last night. I'm leaving tomorrow. Aunt Wong really appreciates your hospitality. What thanks, if it weren't for you, how could we still have the life to sing, dance and eat here today? We should all thank you from the whole village. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have been able to die. What are you saying politely here? Let our big heroes dance and sing happily with us. We want a lot more, but there are a lot of rare fruit plates prepared here. You specially prepared it for you. I will do this, you must have fun, and don't talk about those digressions. Okay, Aunt Wong, let's go, please don't keep those people waiting. She worked hard to prepare, and it was not easy. Okay, let's go quickly, don't keep them waiting, Sasha said. So Roha and Sasha had another crazy night. They sang and danced by themselves, chatting freely about life and the future. Don't really want to integrate into this big family. Keep it, so at least he will live happily in the future, but he can't now, he still has a lot of things to do by himself. There are still many things in the world have to let themselves save him, with too many fates and too many lives on his back. Roha doesn't know when he will be able to see them again, so Roha's heart image should be the last. You can't tell her about this picture. Because in her eyes, she has long regarded them as a family. If she said it now, wouldn't it be very sad and let down such a beautiful happy day? The next day they went downstairs before dawn. They were carrying their luggage, Shanshan and the things that the side slowly brought her. She felt the heaviest thing in the world, because you don't have the taste of happiness, and the taste of love. He just can't leave in the sky, because no one here will come to see him. Because they agreed to go when the sun just came out. But it's such a sad scene to have to walk. He has never been able to stand that kind of sad scene, so he might as well just leave quietly. In this way, at least I won't cry, I won't shed tears in front of them. Even a sturdy man can't be indifferent to love in front of such a tender family. 0.9 So Roha embarked on the journey of saving the world again. He didn't know where the next location would be, let alone what would happen in the future, and he didn't know what kind of people and what kind of things he would meet. I don't know if there is any danger, whether it will hurt his own life, but he still walks forward with nothing. Roha knows a lot of things after knowing this child's world, such as Qingzi. In Roha's eyes, Qingzi is not a villain who destroys world peace. A man who protects world peace. He set a good example with the bad guys. Because just like that, if someone has been hurt. Like Qingzi, she had suffered so much damage, but did he still endure it himself with tears? Still not brought to those people. Didn't he bring kill to the world? Chapter 418 Looking for the real Momoki. He just wanted to relieve himself and vent his anger. He has never killed any innocent person. In Longya's eyes, he is a hero even more powerful than himself. At least he understands the mountains and rivers in the world, and at least he understands that he will not take over what he should not do. Treat her like that, but she can't treat others like that in his eyes. There is something wrong in the world, and there are things that people are more wicked than wicked people. You are like those hypocrites. However, Qingji did appear to be a kinder person in his heart. He did not expect Qingji to be such a person. He was so timid and young since he was a child, and his ability will also be burnt because of one time, but he can't say no to practice, please give up. But her body has always been so kind and never changed. She has to think that if she has the chance to see her again, she will definitely protect it and never hurt him again. But he left, he became Fish Scale Yan left. Does he not know where he has gone? Maybe he thought about it. He really hoped that Halal thought about it. Because he knows that the group leader has never been the kind of person who can take revenge for his own selfishness. I want to live a right path here too. The road ahead is vast, and he doesn't know where he is going. He just wants to say where he goes, and fate will always lead him in the right direction. Everywhere in the heart is its home. A lawn, a big tree, a flower. In this wonderful world of nature and in this not-so-simple world of different dimensions, what he yearns for more is the peace and tranquility of their world. But he is very low, but they have time for peace and tranquility, because the peace and tranquility of that world is not true peace, nor is it true happiness. Peace of that world. It's just what you pretended to do. You pretend he also wants to be a real peace and happiness. So I have something left in the way and there are some monsters that he needs to beat, because of that monster, it doesn't want to be a monster, he wants to be a good guy. It's just that at this time, he was sick and didn't want him to be a good person. Some monsters were kind-hearted, but they were mutilated by those people. This is the sinister nature of the human heart. There are both good and bad people in the world, but if the good people are part of it, then those bad people will not become the bad people in this big collection. But if there are more and more bad people, more than good people, then the world will never be this good again. I really hope that the world can become more and more good people through his efforts. At least he is so popular that he is a good person. A good person can help other people. This cycle repeats endlessly, so how happy the future of this world will be. He never regretted the moment he set out on the journey. When he entered this world from the very beginning, he never regretted it. In his heart, his first wish is always to help others, and put himself in the last position. What I think of in my heart is always someone else's, not myself, but a selfless person who gives selflessly. As I was about to walk, I suddenly realized that something was wrong in front of me. The underwater world is not far from home. He just got out of the underwater world, and remembered that when the man on land sent him to land because of the pain of being a man, the fish bone disappeared affectionately. I thought that this fish bone had a direct connection with Loudy. Then this cool and private thing in someone else's home has to be protected by the world. How could Nang Fanji get in? He believed that the green bottom would also have a gap with that meaning. There must be a gap in the sea on land, and the Dark Lord, the best gap. But this is not the point of Loyang now, the point is that he finds himself and finds the first person in the alley that he dreamed of. He wants to tell him to find that person and ask him what kind of memory he has in the past. Why when he met Aokiji also said that to him at the beginning. When you started to defeat the Black Devil said the same thing. He always felt that his money must not be easy. His own memories of being blocked before must not be simple, so why did his master give it to his father in the first place? And why pretend to be done, and let himself continue to be a monster? What is this? What secrets does that memory hide? What did you say? Seeing Fang Fang's pain when he heard this suggestion, An Bong was terrified. Could it be that I really did something wrong to the world before? Then why can't I personally go to the master and ask me what my memory is? But what I thought about, what I want to say can't be said. I can't just ask the master like this. If I suddenly get angry, wouldn't it be embarrassing? Today, I must find the person who wore it until he dreamed and killed the person who sent Secretary Jia to create such big sunglasses in her world, and also blocked the dream deep in his memory. There are only two, one has been dead for many years, and the other is Elder Taomu. Roha didn't know either, he told me once that day, and then I thought about it. Since Sasha finished speaking, he has been thinking in his heart, what kind of person is Elder Taomu? Why quarrel? Of my dreams. What did they say, and what kind of hatred did they have with him? Why do I have to know what I have done in my past life? Roha doesn't know either. Now only if he finds Elder Taomu, can all these things get the truth that Roha wants. You or him. Although the first three of the storybook found a mahogany elder, it is only said that he has not left that place for decades. Roha now only hopes that the mahogany elder, he is still there. Because he must find out about his own background, otherwise he will never pass his own test and hear anything from others. When he met someone, he said that he used to be a great devil in the world, and said that he killed people without blinking an eye, but Roha didn't believe those people's words at all. Liu Yaxin thought that if he was so good when he was born, why not punish him directly? She also sealed her magical memory, and wanted him to rush in to fight monsters. What was this for? Is it just to use her for so long? No, it was very difficult when he didn't believe her at all. From the time she was born to the present, the only relative he had ever seen was her master. He said how could he treat him like that? He resisted in his heart, there is no belief. Chapter 419 Strange Rope. He wouldn't treat him like that, so he had to find that person to be true to him. All this proves that he is not what they say he is, and he has to prove himself. But downstairs didn't know where to go to find him. He didn't know if he could find him, but he hoped that he could tell him what his previous memories were. She didn't know what her name was before, and even his name was told to her by her master. She really didn't know what she could do. He didn't know if he could go on like this. If it is really the same as what they said, then he might as well die by himself. In his eyes, he always thinks he is a big hero. He and Meow thought that others would say that to him, so now he kills without blinking an eye. How could he allow others to say that to her? So now he must figure out how to explain it to others and also to himself. So Roha thought sincerely, if this is really possible, I can only let it be so I can get rid of my innocence. Can you teach others better in the future? So he doesn't have to rush over immediately, no matter how dangerous the road ahead is, he has to try it. He comes back by himself, and this world is for the people he loves. At least now, the card can still do everything for him, but she absolutely can't hurt others for him, except when he has to. Will he not hurt others? In his eyes, the world is a matter of peace, and he doesn't want the world to become cloudy. I just want everyone to have a happy life. At least now, it is impossible for him to hurt others because of his own changes in the future. As Sasha said, in his eyes he has always been a big hero, he is not a coward. So out, Roha originally had such a great place in his heart. So, for the sake of Sasha's expectations for him, he is even cuter and can't cope with himself. We must quickly find that person who is so innocent. He wants to continue doing his own thing to protect the world by himself. Don't always walk too fast to find that there is no rope at the end of the bridge in that place, but there is no bridge frame. How is he going to get there? Who built such an independent bridge? Since that person can build such a bridge with hats, then this person must not be simple, Roha always thought. Then ask him what to do now. Could it be that he is going now? But now I can't get through it at all, just put a shell price as long as you are not careful. He will fall off the cliff. He is thinking that there are other good ways to cross the bridge, but it is definitely not that simple. You or Roaz said, look. Didn't find any secret. Where do you live? When she was about to give up, she suddenly sat on the ground, and it suddenly found a button on the ground, and the button was hidden deeply. But he could feel it with his hand, because her hand can step into the power of things hundreds of meters underground, and Yang Qi is not too positive energy, this energy also comes from different dimensional energy. Do you look like you dragged him to get past? In order to make the list, that person is just an index after all. If he and her can't get through, he says he can't get around at all. Then he has to open the bridge now, he has to pass over the bridge, so even if this is fake, he has to try it, so he lifted up the layers of dust with his hands. Before he took the button decisively, the button moved the shell together as if it had a mysterious power. A lot of red plates flew out from the rotten bridge opposite. Directly asked to sit on this bridge. The bridge slowly formed a bridge, which grabbed the board like this, and placed it safely on it, looking strong and powerful. So the writing bridge of Luo Xiaoxiao's novels is not difficult for me. Aren't you just a push-button switch? In fact, Roha tried to open the bridge and the front switch, but he didn't expect that this bridge was different from the previous one, but his bridge was distinct. He is not connected together. As long as this kind of bridge falls to pieces, she has to be careful. She is afraid that one of them will accidentally fall into the abyss. In this way, wouldn't he waste his fame, so he is still like this. Roha never gave up, he never wanted to admit defeat in his life. In his eyes, his life is unique, so he never tells others about him. Practice hero, she is a capital invincible, you are in their time of wrongchow. He also gradually got used to the man I want to get drunk, but if he does it flatly, he misses it. He would accidentally fall off a cliff. If once the image is added, he will never be able to get up again. Well, I did go over there to drink liquor to have a chance for world peace, so it can't die, you have to find the switch carefully, and you come to touch the bridge and river water time. Final damage. I have been watching the time to go to work, and if the time reaches 10 bridges, I will automatically get off. Aren't you totally in danger yourself? So he started the long process of correcting his body. He means to let your body, please keep your balance again, he means to say between balance, fill in his own illusion before the prize number, just in case. Joe accidentally in the paragraph he can rely on the balance time. Fly the experiment at the fastest speed, so that he can't guarantee that he is within the range of illness, and can fall on the shore so that he is familiar with the pain of flesh and blood. In this way, it is impossible to fall into the cliff. He did not know who came up with it when he hit it, but the person who can come up with this kind of trick must be very powerful, and it is also possible to meet. When you have time, you must get to know him well. Don't really admire such a character. Don't see him in person, maybe he's talking about the wand that's packed. He has already admired him 3 points. Since such people have said that such a foolproof organ is really subdued, ordinary people will definitely not be able to pass it. But who am I, Roja? I know, I took out the balance sword and checked it so that I could use my abilities and keep myself absolutely balanced. As long as you have an absolute balance, they can fully enter that world. Although that world is extremely brilliant, it is really not easy to find someone with me in such a lively world. But he had to find that person. No matter how well he celebrated his body, he couldn't go on like this. He thought about how the relationship looked at himself, but he couldn't care less about what so many people had said to him. Chapter 420 Strange Forest. However, Roja thinks about it. Is it really like this when it comes to him? It's possible that if he really does, he won't get the truth, but that's right, you have to keep going like this. He can't go on like this. He wants his mission to be completed. If he says it will go on like this, he really doesn't know what will happen in July. He cannot disappoint those who once believed in him. But in this situation, he really can. Finding them is just the first level, and he also affirmed that a man's level was cleaned up later. But I believe in myself. I don't believe that Roja can do it. Even if no one can do it, she will definitely do it. Although she doesn't seem to work hard to grow taller, he is actually really happy with his real ability. The shot is full of supernatural energy that no one else has. So Roja has always believed in himself, and he can completely conquer himself. He can find 2 childish people or things to figure out. In all his circumstances, he couldn't let others slander Roja himself so contemptuously. Don't worry that although he knows in his heart that he has skills and efforts, he has never proudly told others that he has shown off his own abilities to me. In his heart, it's easy to erode what worries them, but others think he's a blame me or a lover for having a car like this. But in his eyes, even though this amount is for him, he can help others, so the person he likes can understand, and he can return his memory to him. Don't you have to pick me up to hurt others, and don't let myself be misunderstood by so many people. He wants this person to understand himself. Was it really so easy for us to get to know each other before? This is really different. But Roja has always believed that this time, but what he can't do is this. He doesn't know what happened, he just keeps moving forward, all the way forward. But what he didn't know was that he wanted to have such a person. Then I know this is where my heart is cold. He will never accept anything or the energy that others oppress him. Because she is not like this in Roja, he has always stabilized his original intention, and it is difficult to maintain what type of housing this situation occurs in the end, which prevents him from giving money to that bridge. I was just doing my hair just now. If I can't tell you to practice, it will grow 20 meters long, or it will shake violently like chocolate. Depending on the situation, you can find a good car. Roja suddenly discovered the problem with the bridge. You copied it to the ship first, then sat here and saw the money slowly being burned by the fire, and then... Okay, strangeness. I have not seen Xinjiang put the whole bridge. Almost what? Roja has been looking at the bridge made of such wood. Roja hurriedly shot, fortunately with the help of the balanced sword, otherwise he would not be able to get up a little bit, and Roja also felt the truth. Very lucky. You are in such a situation, he actually can. Wasn't it hard for me to explain this in the past? But he also thought about the difficulty behind. He suddenly thought that trusting an elder was really not that easy. It was he who slowly discovered a problem. We had thought of 3 things before to pass this bridge to the next level, but there was clearly a voice in the middle. He had been telling himself to take a small land on the left, and he had to flatten the voice in his heart, and slowly set foot on that road. One of these 3 roads must be correct. But it is definitely wrong to mention the 2, if he is really in the wrong one, he will definitely die without a place to be buried. But he trusted the voice in his heart too much. The heavy voice in her heart has been telling her that one must go, and she must go without hesitation. The one you believed went straight to him, he believed in his own voice. Although he didn't know where the voice came from, he still believed what it was like, at least. He has no one to trust now. The voice in the bottom of his heart pointed him to the road that kept walking forward, and he suddenly found this platform where he was unusual. So don't go that route. What about the other 2 roads? He looked through a spyglass and the 2 roads ahead. Only to find out that Roja, who was caught in the middle, was watching, and there were thorns in the middle, and one of the roads was. In the middle of the road, a female classmate passed by Duanya. I think that since I can't pass it, I will definitely be poisoned on the way back. It is obviously a dead end. It seems that this trick is even more vicious. So he was very awake, and he was very grateful for the voice in his heart. The voice that guided him to come to me was the voice that guided him through many difficulties. He really appreciates your identity. He said that he didn't know where the voice came from, but she actually helped herself to read 2 words. He really felt that the one who was sick must be one of his own souls, or Sasha sent him to help him. But why did the voice in his heart sound like his own? It's just that there is more viciousness, more scolding, and more melancholy than usual.